I just got cast. I'm getting paid $2,610, which is top of show, whatever that means.
So you are the title character.
This I just learned from Mike, the warehouse agent.
And you're only going to get paid $2,600 and change.
That was top of show. That was the most they would pay any guest star. And that includes like Bette Midler.
How much do you think you've made from actual residuals? And then how much have you made autographs, cameo, all the other stuff that you've been able to take the character?
Put it this way, since 2003, I have made a pretty decent living doing nothing but autograph shows, personal appearances, and then finally cameo in the year 2020 when all my friends were hurting bad. I made more money than I ever made in my life. And I wrote that in an email to Jerry, and his response to me was, what a wonderful thing to hear. I'm so glad that perfect performance you did all those years ago is still serving you. He goes, any work is good work in this crazy business of ours. Wasn't that sweet? And that was just like a month ago. But residuals, I think I got something like 3,500 for the finale. And then they re-aired it in prime time a week later, and I got it again. And then they re-aired it one more time in prime time before it went into syndication, so I got it again. Because when they re-air in prime time, you get like 99% of your original pay. And then it goes into syndication and everything goes down. But for the first few years, just for the 2 episodes I did do, and being the blackjack dealer in Austin Powers when it went on to VHS, I was making like more money than my day job, although I still needed to keep my day job. But those two, those 2 episodes and Austin Powers, I made Austin Powers VHS residuals for the first year it was on sale. I made 3 times as much than I got paid to do the movie.
Were you making 6 figures in the beginning on residuals? Okay,
no,
but more than the bail bond.
20,000 a year. I was making like 20 grand a year at my day job, and I was making like 20 grand a year in residuals. I have gotten the lowest residual check possible to get of a paper check. It just said void, not negotiable, because it was worth less than a penny. I would not, for the 3 years, say no soup for you to anybody. When I was nominated for an Emmy, I was interviewed by Inside Edition, Entertainment Tonight, a show called Day and Date. They all wanted me to say it. I went, no, I do not say that. And my agent, this manager I had gotten since the Seinfeld episode, called me and said, do you want to be in the Seinfeld finale? Now, I thought they hated me because they never wanted to do. Spike Feresten, the writer, would call me at home and go, man, I want to do another Soup Nazi episode, but they won't let me. And I just kept thinking they didn't like me. Anyway, so that Saturday, though, we go to Warner Brothers, like you said, and I am shooting that moment where I take the bowl away from Rennie Santonia's Poppy, and there was no dialogue because, it was what everyone was doing while the jury was out, and it was supposed to be with music over it. And I do it once, and I see Jerry and Larry across the street. They used to do this thing where they'd fold their arms and kind of whisper to each other, which was maddening. And I'm thinking like, oh God, I don't have it anymore, and they're gonna fire me and call Shaloub, And so they call me over, and I like the longest mile walking over to Jerry and Larry. I go, yeah. And Jerry goes, we think you need to say it out loud. And I will go, oh, say it out loud. And I go, okay. And I turn around, and now I'm terrified because now I know it's not going to sound the same, Now everybody's going to be embarrassed for me. And so I go back over, and they reset. And, I bring the soup out to everybody, whatever. And Rennie looks at me, and he does the little salt and pepper shaker thing. And I go to grab the bowl, and I just yell, for the first time in 3 years, no soup for you. And I take the bowl away, and I hear someone like giggling in the background, and I hear Andy Ackerman just going like, okay, check the gate. Okay, moving on. That's the take, moving on. And we all start to walk. And Larry David rushes across the street to walk next to me. And he goes, you know what, man, you say it the exact same way you said it 3 years ago. And since then, of course, I've said it a million times. Things are still happening that make me go like, God, the Funko Pop. I just learned like last year what Funko, because they had made what they call a vinyl idol of me already back in like 2015. And they used Soup Nazi on that one, but it didn't sell all that well, you know. My participation check, which is usually like $150 a year, didn't really even go up when that toy got released. And then someone sent me a picture of it on clearance for $6.95 at a store. And then I learned about a year ago what a Funko Pop is. They're those little ones with the big heads, and their people are obsessed with them. I mean, they are so collectible. I have now signed at least 1,000 for collectors on those Funko Pops. I've just made a whole like living in the last month or two. They got released June 1st. I did a signing at Funko Hollywood, and people were lined up around the block sitting in chairs. When's it gonna end? So people say, you know, did you ever know, blah, blah, blah. And I go, no, and I'm still not knowing. Because every time I think it's hit its peak, something else happens.